Give me 24 minutes and I will teach you to control your reality. That's a bold promise, right? But here's the truth. The ability to influence what happens in your life is not a gift reserved for a chosen few. It's not magic, it's not luck, and it's not something you have to beg the universe for. It's a skill rooted in how the quantum field responds to you. Most people think their reality is shaped by the big external forces they can see. Their job, their bank account, their relationships, the economy, the news. They believe the world out there is fixed, and all they can do is react to it. But in the quantum view, reality is not fixed. It's fluid, dynamic, and responsive. It moves according to the frequency you hold. And once you understand this, you stop playing the game by the old rules and start directing your own outcomes. I want you to imagine something. Picture yourself as both a radio transmitter and a receiver. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, every belief you carry, they are all frequencies you're broadcasting into the quantum field. And here's the kicker. The field doesn't send you what you want. It sends you what you are. The reason this feels so hard for most people is because they've been taught to chase reality forward, trying to make things happen through sheer force. That constant push creates resistance. It's like shouting at the radio to play a different song without actually changing the station. You can demand it all day, but until you tune to the right frequency, the music stays the same. Now, I know what you might be thinking. If it's that simple, why isn't everyone doing it? Because your mind has been trained to measure reality in purely physical terms, cause and effect, step-by-step plans, linear timelines. That training is so deep that when you hear someone say, "You can control reality by changing your internal state," your logical brain fights back. It wants to see evidence first, results first, proof first. But in the quantum world, proof comes after the shift, not before. You have to act as if, feel as if, align as if, and only then does the external world mirror you. Science has known this for decades. In quantum mechanics, the observer effect tells us that particles behave differently when they are observed, meaning your awareness is an active force in shaping outcomes. Your focus is not passive, it's creative. The way you look at your reality changes it, and that's just the beginning. When your inner state, your thoughts, emotions, and body chemistry, is coherent, it creates a powerful, organized signal in the field. That signal collapses probability into a single outcome, the one that matches your vibration. The moment you start living as the version of yourself who already has the reality you want, you begin pulling that version into your experience. But here's the paradox. Most people try to control their reality while staying in the frequency of not having. They visualize while doubting. They take action while worrying. They say affirmations while secretly expecting failure. And that mixed signal is why the field seems slow or unresponsive. It's not slow, it's perfectly accurate. It is matching your dominant state with precision. You can't fool the field with words. You can only tune it with vibration. So today, I'm inviting you into a new experience. For the next minutes, I'm going to walk you through how to take control, not by pushing harder, but by aligning deeper. We'll break down the science, dissolve the myths, and give you a method that's so straightforward, your mind might resist it at first, until you see it working in your life. And trust me, once you do, you'll never go back to chasing. You'll be broadcasting a frequency so clear the universe will have no choice but to match it. Stay with me, because this is the shift you've been waiting for, and it starts now. If you want to control your reality, the first thing you have to do is unlearn the biggest lie you've ever been told. That reality happens to you. From the moment you were born, you were taught to measure your life by what you can see, touch, and explain logically. You were taught to wait for external changes before you could feel differently inside. You've been conditioned to believe that the cause is always outside and the effect is always inside. But in the quantum view, it's the exact opposite. The cause is internal, and the effect is what you see in the physical world. That means the sequence you've been living by your whole life has been backwards. And as long as you live by it, you'll keep repeating the same cycles just with different faces, places, and events. Here's the problem with living from the outside in. It locks you into a reactive frequency. Imagine you wake up, check your bank account, and see less money than you want. Instantly, your nervous system shifts into stress. You feel lack. That feeling is not neutral, it's a broadcast. And without realizing it, you've just told the quantum field, "This is my reality." And because the field doesn't argue, it simply echoes, you keep experiencing more situations that confirm that lack. You think you're responding to reality, but in truth, you're reinforcing it. You're strengthening the exact frequency you want to escape. This is why the phrase, "I'll believe it when I see it," is so dangerous. In the quantum model, you will only see it after you believe it. You can't wait for evidence to feel the way you want to feel. The feeling is the evidence in advance. In neuroscience, this is called neuroplasticity. When you repeatedly fire the neural pathways associated with a certain emotion or belief, you strengthen those circuits, making it easier and faster for your body to default to that state. Over time, that state becomes your baseline, and your baseline is what the field mirrors back to you. Think of it this way. Your life right now is the result of your previous frequency. The emotions, thoughts, and states of being you repeated yesterday, last week, last month, they built the reality you're standing in. That means the reality you'll be living in next week, next month, next year, is being created right now. And if that doesn't make you stop and take control of your current state, nothing will. This is not just a nice idea. It's physics. The field is responding instantly. You're just seeing the physical manifestation with a slight delay. Here's where most people get stuck. They try to change their external circumstances without changing their internal frequency first. They think more action will fix it. They work harder, hustle longer, push more. And when nothing changes, they feel even more powerless. The truth is, action without alignment is like rowing against the current. You exhaust yourself and stay in the same place. But when you align your inner state first, action becomes effortless. The current moves with you. Opportunities show up, connections happen, ideas flow. That's not coincidence. That's coherence in action. So, if you've been living as if reality is in charge and you're just here to react, it's time to reverse that dynamic. The next time something undesirable happens, instead of letting it dictate your state, choose your state first. Hold it, anchor it, become it so fully that the external world has to adjust. That's how you stop playing the old game of cause and effect, and start playing the quantum game of cause through effect. And in the next part, I'll show you exactly how to train your energy to do that on command, so you're not at the mercy of circumstances ever again. To truly control your reality, you must understand that your inner state is not just in your head. It's an electromagnetic broadcast, a literal signal that interacts with the quantum field. Science has proven that your heart generates the largest electromagnetic field in your body, and your brain's electrical activity works in constant communication with it. When your heart and mind are in alignment, thinking the same thing, feeling the same thing, they emit a coherent frequency, and coherent frequencies are what the quantum field locks onto. In physics, coherence means order. It's when all parts of a system move in harmony, amplifying the overall signal. That's why in laser light, for example, the waves are perfectly aligned, allowing the beam to travel vast distances without losing power. Your consciousness works the same way. When you're coherent, your signal becomes amplified and stable. But here's the catch. Most people are incoherent without even realizing it. They think abundance but feel fear. They speak gratitude but carry resentment. They visualize love but expect rejection. That's like trying to send a GPS signal while your location keeps changing every few seconds. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to the frequency you actually hold. And your dominant frequency is determined by your emotions, because emotions are stronger and faster than thoughts when it comes to broadcasting into the field. Neuroscience gives us an important clue here. The limbic system, the emotional center of your brain, can override rational thinking in milliseconds. That means if you're thinking about abundance but feeling lack, the feeling wins. And that's what gets broadcast. This is why positive thinking alone doesn't work for most people. If you want to change your reality, you have to change the emotional signature you're sending out, not just the words or images you're holding in your mind. Now, how does this connect to quantum mechanics? In quantum theory, a system exists in multiple potential states until it's observed. Your observation is not just visual, it's energetic. The field responds to the energy of the observer. When your inner state is fragmented, you're effectively observing multiple conflicting realities at once, which keeps you in a state of uncertainty and delay. But when you align your thoughts, emotions, and body, you collapse the probability wave into the reality that matches that alignment. That's manifestation at the subatomic level. Not magic, but measurement. Spiritual traditions have been teaching this for centuries under different names: prayer, meditation, presence, surrender. What these practices have in common is that they quiet the noise, focus the intention, and bring the body into a state of peace. In modern terms, they're tools for inducing coherence. And once you're coherent, the field doesn't need convincing. It simply mirrors your state. That's why some people seem to manifest effortlessly. It's not luck, it's resonance. Here's a practical perspective. Think of your inner state like the tuning of a radio. If you want to listen to 98.5 FM, you don't turn the dial to 92.3 and hope the signal changes. You align the frequency exactly. The quantum field works the same way. If you want the reality of abundance, you can't stay tuned to scarcity and hope abundance will break in. You have to match the frequency consistently enough for it to stabilize. And once it stabilizes, physical reality has no choice but to match it. The beautiful part? You already have the technology for this inside you. Your breath regulates your nervous system. Your focus directs your energy. Your imagination builds the blueprint. And your choice, moment to moment, keeps you in the vibration that calls the matching reality into form. In the next part, I'll give you the exact method to train this alignment daily, so controlling your reality stops being something you try to do and becomes something you simply are. If you want to control your reality with precision, you need to train your frequency the same way an athlete trains their body, not through constant strain, but through consistent alignment. Controlling reality is not about doing more, forcing more, or working harder. It's about maintaining a stable, coherent signal so that the quantum field can lock onto it without interference. That means you must create daily conditions where your thoughts, emotions, and physical state are in harmony, even if it's just for a few focused minutes. Let me give you the exact method. Step 1. Begin in the body, not the mind. The first mistake people make is trying to change their reality while their body is still in the chemical state of their old one. Your nervous system records emotional states like a library. If you've been living in stress, doubt, or frustration, those chemical signatures have become your default frequency. You can't broadcast abundance from a stressed-out body. It's like trying to send a clean signal through a broken antenna. So, before you think about what you want, calm your body. Breathe slowly and deeply. In through the nose for a count of 5. Out through the mouth for a count of 7. This sends a signal to your vagus nerve that it's safe, which lowers cortisol and shifts you into a receptive state. Step 2. Access the end state immediately. Once your body is calm, close your eyes and go directly to the feeling of already having what you want. Skip the how and skip the journey. Your job is not to build the path, but to lock into the destination. If it's financial freedom, feel the weight lifted from your chest. If it's love, feel the warmth and connection in your body. Neuroscience tells us that the brain doesn't distinguish between an experience that's vividly imagined and one that's physically lived. It fires the same neural pathways. That means every time you rehearse the end state in this way, you are programming your brain and body to exist in that reality now. Step 3. Command and release. This is where most people get stuck. They think they need to hold the vision all day, or repeat affirmations endlessly. But in quantum manifestation, repetition often means you're signaling doubt. A clear, coherent signal doesn't need to be sent 1,000 times. Once is enough, if it's pure. So after you feel the end state fully, speak your quantum command internally. It is done. Then release it. Go on with your day knowing the field has already received the instruction. This knowing is the difference between wishing and creating. Step 4. Watch for the micro shifts. The universe doesn't always deliver in grand, cinematic moments. Often it begins with subtle alignments, a chance meeting, a sudden idea, an unexpected resource. Most people miss these because they're too busy scanning for proof in the exact form they imagined. When you let it be easy, you allow infinite doorways to open, and they often appear in ways you never predicted. Now here's where I want you to participate, because participation anchors the shift. If you're ready to move from wishing to commanding, from trying to aligning, I want you to declare it in the comments right now. I am in control of my reality. When you write it, don't treat it like a motivational quote. Feel it. Let it be the frequency you're holding in this very moment. Imagine that the moment you type those words, the field receives your signature and begins reshaping the probabilities around you. In the next part, I'm going to reveal why most people sabotage their own alignment without realizing it, and how you can prevent this so your signal stays pure long enough for reality to rearrange itself in your favor. By now, you understand that controlling your reality is not about force. It's about coherence. But even when people learn this, they often unknowingly dismantle their own quantum alignment. It's not because they're doing it wrong, but because they're unaware of the subtle ways they leak energy. I call these silent saboteurs, patterns so ingrained that you don't notice them until you know what to look for. Once you spot them, you can remove them and allow your manifestation to unfold without interference. Saboteur. Number 1, the frequency check. This is when you set an intention in the morning and then spend the rest of the day checking if it's working. You look for evidence. You refresh your email. You scan your messages. You wonder, is it here yet? Every time you do this, you're not broadcasting trust, you're broadcasting doubt. In quantum mechanics, observation collapses the wave into a particle. But if your observation is loaded with suspicion, you collapse into the wrong timeline, the one where you're still waiting. Trust doesn't check. Trust knows. Saboteur number 2, emotional re-entry into the old reality. Your frequency is like a GPS signal. Every time you emotionally react to an event as your old self would, getting frustrated at traffic, anxious about money, irritated at someone's delay, you are pinging the universe with your old coordinates. And the field will keep matching you to that version of reality. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect or emotionless. It means you must become conscious enough to notice when you've slipped back, and choose again, quickly. Saboteur number 3. Over-efforting in the name of doing your part. There's a thin line between inspired action and desperate action. Inspired action feels light, natural, and obvious. It often comes as a sudden urge or idea that feels almost too easy. Desperate action is heavy, planned in fear, and usually feels like you're trying to make it happen instead of letting it happen. In the quantum field, desperation scrambles the signal. If your body is tight, your breathing shallow, and your mind overthinking, you're not acting from alignment. You're acting from survival. And survival frequency doesn't magnetize, it repels. Saboteur number 4, the narrative loop. Humans are storytellers by nature, but we often tell the wrong stories to ourselves. It's always been hard for me. Things like this never work out in my favor. People like me don't get lucky breaks. Every time you repeat these, even casually, you're rehearsing a frequency. The quantum field doesn't hear your words. It feels your vibration. And your vibration is sculpted by the emotional tone of your stories. Change the story, and you change the signal. Saboteur number 5. Treating quantum manifestation like a to-do list. This is one of the most subtle traps. You meditate, visualize, and set intentions, but you do it from the same mental place you use to pay bills or check off errands. You're operating from the beta brainwave state of problem solving, not from the alpha-theta states of creation. In neuroscience, the creative state is where the subconscious becomes most impressionable. If you're manifesting in problem-solving mode, you're still telling the field there's a problem. Here's the truth. You can remove all these saboteurs not by adding more effort, but by simplifying your signal. The less you do that pulls you back into the old reality, the faster the new reality stabilizes. This is why mastery of the quantum field is less about learning new techniques and more about unlearning the reflexes that keep you anchored to the past. Imagine this. The version of you who already lives your desired reality isn't trying to hold it. They just live it. They don't check if it's working. They don't spiral when something small goes wrong. They don't over-effort. They don't repeat the old story. They simply wake up in the frequency they've chosen and let the field take care of the rest. Your job is to start being that version now, not someday. And when you do, something extraordinary happens. The field no longer sees you as becoming, and it sees you as being. And the moment you are being, there's nothing left to wait for. The shift has already happened. In the final part, we'll lock this in with a quantum activation you can use every day. Plus, I'll share how you can deepen this work and stabilize it for life. By this point, you've not just heard about quantum manifestation, you've felt it. Somewhere inside you, there's a quiet recognition. This is how reality actually works. Not through constant hustle, not through blind luck, but through frequency. And the beautiful, almost absurd truth is, it's always been this simple. You just didn't believe it could be. Right now, as you're listening, you're sitting in the middle of the quantum field. Infinite timelines, infinite versions of you, all existing at once. You are not moving toward your desired reality. You are selecting it. And the moment your internal state matches the vibration of that reality, not just for a minute, not just during meditation, but as your new baseline, the shift is instant. The delay you think you feel is only the time it takes for your senses to catch up to what's already true in the field. The activation I want to leave you with is this. For the next 24 hours, behave as if you have absolutely nothing left to manifest. Let that sink in. No checking, no wondering, no bargaining. Just live as the version of you who already has everything they've ever asked for. Order coffee like them. Walk like them. Answer texts like them. Spend money like them. Breathe like them. This is not make-believe. In quantum physics, the act of embodying the state is what collapses the wave. And embodiment doesn't ask, when will it happen? It knows it has happened. You'll notice something interesting when you do this. The pressure will drop, the mental noise will quiet, and in that space the field will have room to respond. That's the paradox. The less you push, the faster it moves. You've heard me say it before. The universe doesn't speak the language of effort. It speaks the language of coherence. And if you're feeling the pull to stabilize this frequency, to make it not just an insight you had today, but a permanent way you live, I created something that goes far deeper. It's my guidebook, Awaken Your Quantum Power, designed to walk you through the 7 core principles that anchor your frequency so solidly that reality has no choice but to match it. This isn't about doing more. It's about finally stepping into the most efficient, aligned version of yourself, the one who doesn't chase outcomes, but magnetizes them. You'll find the link to access it in the pinned comment below. Because here's the thing. You didn't find this message by accident. There's a version of you already living everything you've ever wanted. They're calling you forward, and all you need to do is answer. Not with more effort, but with more being. So as we wrap up, I'll leave you with this. Stop measuring how far you have to go. Start measuring how fully you can embody who you already are. That's where the shift happens. That's when the field says, match confirmed. And from that moment on, there's nothing left to wait for.